welcome back to Worldwide Railroad. I'm Derek. Thanks for joining today to watch this video. I'm going to be going over the Lionel 2024 Volume 1 catalog. This is a massive catalog. I'm really excited to dig into it. That said, due to its size, I've decided to break up my review of it across a few videos. This first one's going to focus on the legacy items at the front of the catalog, and then we're going to dive into the legacy items that are in the back as well, a few of them, the holiday specific ones. So this first video will be that, and then hopefully I'll have time in the next week or so to do a review on like the Lion Chief and other items throughout the catalog. I just figure it's easier to do it in these different chunk size videos as opposed to just one long monotonous video. So I hope you're ready for all this. I'm sure everyone's already probably looked at the catalog already who's now watching this video. Was hoping to get this out there sooner, share my thoughts, but unfortunately have just been dealing with a sickness, either myself or folks in the family. So don't mind me if I'm drinking some tea while I get through all of this as well. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and let's dive into this catalog. So we knew, like we heard this coming, we expected it, 20th anniversary for the Polar Express. So of course, the cover is exactly that, right? It's the Berkshire. We know what's coming. We're all excited for that. That said, I think the real big surprise, at least and the exciting one for me, is the Milwaukee Hiawatha. I have been wanting this engine since I came back into the hobby. The last time Lionel made it was in 2006 with TMCC, and you really couldn't find it for, for at least from in my opinion, for a reasonable price. For an engine that was that old with TMCC and everything. So yeah, I just couldn't find it, and every time it did, it came up at a bad time for me. So that's really exciting for me as well. As we already know, is the Vision Line Triplex. We knew that one was coming, and Lionel announced it last year at the York Train Show. So that was quite cool. We knew this is coming. This is XMTH tooling. So right away we jump into it. This is going to be an impressive engine. We've got a swinging bell. We've got the whistle smoke. We've also got the rear drivers on the tender with the wheel slip feature. Lionel's put a video out there already showing that. And the prototype's already together, right? Because they already had a full model to show that video, which isn't also too surprising, frankly, right? This is tooling that they already had ready to go from MTH. Obviously, they had to make some modifications for the new features they've added and what have you. But that said, definitely not as much much in the way of changes compared to some of the previous Vision Line engines that they put out for the first time. So I'm sure these will be showing up sometime this year. Probably, I don't know when, but they'll be coming. They look great. I'm hoping to pick up one. I think the Erie looks great. And of course, we've got a few fantasy schemes, whether they are an actual railroad, right? Like a scheme like that, or we've got, the prototype or the pilot model version for this Halloween one. The Halloween one, I think, is actually really awesome looking. And I think that if that really does look like that when it glows in the dark, would be fantastic. But that said, I just don't see myself springing for a fantasy Vision Line engine like that. So is what it is. The one thing that I am a little disappointed to see is the Virginian, when they did do the triplex on that railway, they did actually have a trailing truck, I believe it was, with 4 wheels here. And that was always like a bit of a ding against, MTH didn't bother to make that. And it's a shame that Lionel just couldn't be bothered to make the effort with it either. But that said, probably gonna do the Erie because that's what it's most famous for here. Moving on, you have this awesome triplex, big box superset. Lots of cool looking freight cars. Of course, you're getting the Vision Line box cars and the Vision Line caboose and all of that stuff. I'm sure this will look cool. I'm sure this is going to be an impressive and awesome set. Definitely worth it for someone who doesn't have a lot of rolling stock or freight cars, or is looking for a bunch of rolling stock in this style. But that said, if you have a lot of rolling stock already, probably not something you're going to be looking at. So next we've got the Berkshires. So of course, right, we have like nickel plate, and then we've got this cool nickel plate like fantasy scheme with the blue and the silvers. That looks really good. There's also some of the other the Parade Marquette, um, and the Chesapeake and Ohio. And, some of these other schemes are well known. So I know plenty of people are very excited for the Berkshires. I think the Lionel's Berkshires are one of the better models in terms of tooling that they've put out in the past. So this is going to be that again with some more features added to it, like whistle steam and all. So definitely great. Um, it is a bit pricey, I suppose, right? This is tooling that's been around for a long time, and they're not adding, like, I think the previous Berkshires have Legacy in them, if I ever recall correctly. So, obviously it's a newer version of Legacy, but in Whistle Steam. But beyond that, it's not adding a lot. So I don't know. I think that's a tad pricey for these. But it is what it is. H7s are back. These look like great models as well. If you would like to add a lesser known big steamer to your layout, this is a great pick. They look beautiful. I've seen the previous run from however many years ago from people's videos and layouts. Beautiful looking engines, definitely awesome. Um, Again, these are this instant line with the cab Ford that came out a couple years ago. Same price. So from that standpoint, for a large steamer, it's considering everything's always getting a little bit more expensive. I guess it's nice that it's 2000. Still feels a lot to just be for a big steamer these days. I think unfortunately we're probably looking at a new norm of articulated steamers like this being a minimum of 2000 at MSRP. So is what it is. Great looking engines. Do love them. Definitely will be a more unique um pickup if you get it on your layout than say like you're gonna see someone's layout, big layouts. Very often you see big boys, you see challengers. You just don't see H7s that much. These 460s are very awesome. These are cute. They're nice. They give you it's a great, nice legacy option for smaller layouts. Um, and it adds more. It gives people who love Steam, but don't have the big curves and a chance at legacy Steam. I think 800 is a tad on the high side for a legacy steamer of this size, especially if we go back and look at the legacy steamer for the one with the cab in the middle. I'm suddenly blanking on it. The Camelback. I think the last run of those was like 700 or 750. So I am a little bit surprised to see this be 800 for an engine that is more or less the same size as those Camelbacks. So it's a bit surprising to me there. I know it's got whistle steam and all, but at some point, like whistle steam is no longer the new feature, right? It's the norm. And I think we've reached that point here. At MTH, everyone's putting if the engine can fit it, it has it. It has whistle steam. And so it's not that big a deal. And I think the price needs to take that into account. The Royal Blue Line, this is gorgeous. These passenger cars are beautiful. This engine's great. This is definitely a standout set to me. Would love to honestly get this set. I don't know if it's going to make the cut. I really do also have to say, like, you have the different headlights and all that, but this one with the fact that they did the extra detail here, and you've got the headlight with the way it's designed on this engine as opposed to the previous ones. I think small details like that to me are what make this one a real standout. That and these passenger cars are gorgeous. That said, um, I am a little surprised that we're starting to jump up to 250 a piece for these passenger cars. Um, we're starting to reach the point of Golden Gate Depot, but Lionel doesn't necessarily always have the level of detail and everything else that comes with it. So I don't know. Anyway, great looking cars. Let's keep moving. All right, here we go. Here are the Hiawathas. And it's also the Lionel store exclusive this year. I will say not just this paint scheme, but the following fantasy paint schemes for this are gorgeous. I think all of them are great. If I had no concerns about money, and just could get everything, I would probably get one of every set. I think that they are that iconic looking, and I think they will all be that sought after down the line. Um, you know, I know we may get a rerun of this set, so hopefully sooner than like since 2006, it to 2006. So hopefully like we won't have to wait 18 years again to see this rerun. But that said, would not hold my breath on that. Um, the one thing that a couple of things I really am going to point out real quick here before we just breeze through the fantasy schemes. The engine when it came out last time in 2006 with TMCC was either 1,000 or 1,100. So the fact that this engine in 18 years has only gone up $100, but has legacy and whistle steam in it now, to me is very to me that puts a big magnifying glass over how Lionel's pricing and makes it raises a lot of questions to me because this has whistle steam, it has legacy, and it has Bluetooth, but it only went up $100, right? And we know that they had this tooling, so it's like okay, so what you're saying is in all this time, you only felt it was worth bumping the engine by $100 or $200, um, despite all these features you've added. Which brings me back to like the Berkshires, right? Like the Berkshires are quite expensive. They're at what 1,700, and that's existing tooling for Lionel as well. And yet they have bumped the price quite a bit. And it's like whistle steam, and I don't think the last ones had legacy, but okay, newer version of legacy and Bluetooth. So like, why such a big bump for these other engines that they're remaking, where the additional features are more or less the same as this one? Anyway, big question there for me. The aluminum passenger cars, um, I think this set is probably the top thing for me in this catalog. I am shocked by the pricing though. 300 per passenger car is Oz is a lot. And, like that is Golden Gate Depot prices, and it's Lionel. So I don't know. I'm a little bit perplexed at the pricing there. Will definitely be hunting for the lowest cost I can get for these passenger cars because that's a brutal price for passenger cars. And that's for the 3-pack. For the 4-pack at 4 cars, we're looking at 1,400. So that's even more than 300. You're looking at 4 times 300 is 1,200. So you're actually looking at 350 per passenger car. And it's like, okay, I get that and really, I think the biggest thing was a custom recording feature. Multiple characters allow you to recreate entire rail journey. Okay, arrival. So one of the passenger cars has like the rail sounds, like the previous Vision line, or not Vision line, but like passenger cars. So you have to clickety clack and all that. But like, I don't know. For me, it's like I'd rather save myself another $200 and not have to buy when buying this 4-pack. I don't need the clickety clack sounds in the passenger cars, especially since Lionel still has not put out the Cab 3. It's like, okay, cool. You don't have a Cab 3 out. So these extra features in these passenger cars and all of this other stuff where it's Bluetooth is pointless to me because all I can do is clickety clack. I can't use any of the features until Cab 3 comes out. So thanks, Lionel, for I guess nothing at this point, just extra money I have to spend if I really, really want this. The other one thing that I am concerned about is the color here is like a purple or a magenta is really what it is, and not the typical red. I do hope Lionel clarifies whether or not this is going to be there. I think that's been asked, and if I find out an answer, I'll follow up because I know after the Dreyfus issues that came out that with legacy Dreyfus and passenger cars, um, people are definitely not. It's risky, right? Is Lionel actually going to get the colors right? And we know they've done the colors right before with the Dreyfus, and we know they've done it right before with this. So will they get it right? Well, no, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they do. Anyway, let's keep going. Those were my big thoughts with all of this. Should be good. And as you can see, they came out with a few different schemes for the passenger car engines and the passenger cars based on what was actually run in history. For me, it would definitely have to be probably the engine with the logo, along with the striped cars like this. To me, they're just much more striking, and I like them a lot more than like no logo or these passenger cars. So that's where I stand if I get the set. The Chicago Northwestern looks great, beautiful looking engine. I like the scheme. It works on this. The passenger cars are nice looking too. I'm not a huge fan of the yellow, and I think it's dark green that they're supposed to be, but it's still a nice looking set. Definitely looks good. Seaboard, this is a really striking set. And again, I'm gonna say this, as long as the stripes on the engine are the same size as the ones in the passenger car, it'll be a very striking set. Hopefully everything matches correctly for those who order this set. And I do hope the other thing that comes to pass with this and all of the fantasy versions of the Hiawatha set, I do hope there are enough pre-orders that they all get built. It would be a shame for them to not build these sets. I think all of them, even the hot dog deserves to get built. I think it'd be great to see them. They will be cool items to like track down in the future if you're not able to get it right now. All right, well, so that concludes it for Steam. I think it's nice what they did for Steam this time around. I feel like there might be a bit more diversity in terms of smaller steamers than we've had in the past. Um, Definitely some new steam, some stuff we haven't seen, right? Like we've seen Camelbacks quite a few times in the previous catalogs. Nice to see some new small steam engines coming in to give a change there. So GP9s or Jeep 9s, these are in, these are great looking. Again, I do see Lionel going to further efforts to add, road specific detailing, like you can see here with the Pennsylvania and the antenna, and just like some of the other small details that they have on these. And you also have the Pennsylvania GP9B Super Base. That's really cool to see. I know a lot of people are very excited for these. They look great. And again, like small diesels like this are great on the layout. That said, I don't think that a legacy diesel of this size justifies a $600 price tag. And that's just me, but it's a diesel. I don't even know, like this, it does have smoke, okay. But to me, it like it's a small diesel, right? Like $600 for this, and I'll get to a bit more like why I think this is again a bit much for a diesel. So let's get to the next page here. Some more GP9s and different road names and some more of the B units. Definitely, if any of these road names are your thing and you really like this era, or you really like diesels in general or have a small layout, these will be great for you. Just I think the price tag is a bit much. So this is where I get confused. The ES44 is a bigger diesel, right? It's you got six-wheel trucks. It's longer, it's bigger, yada yada yada, right? And oh, okay, this one is actually 750 for these. So but I actually still think that even 750 is too much for these as well. The one thing I do like, and that I'll call out here that they have on this, that they don't have on the GP9s is the kinematic pilot. We've seen this recently on some of the other diesels they put out. And I really appreciate the kinematic pilot. It helps keeps the pilot a bit more fixed, but still allows it to move if the curve is too tight. But you get that bit of added realism or prototypical like style, but still have that flexibility. So I think that's pretty awesome with these. Again, if you're into any of these road names, they look great. I start having a hard time justifying a diesel, and that's just always been me. I have a hard time justifying diesels at these prices because of far less in the way of moving parts than steam engines and complexity. So that's my 2 cents and why I probably don't pick up a lot of diesels in general. I usually pick them up if I am buying them secondhand and I only do it for a handful of railroads. So after ES44s, we have the SD45s here. Um, so these are the ones, and I don't know, like, yes, this is where like I get confused and baffled by Lionel pricing. You have another six truck diesel, right? This one is 650. This one is 750. $100 difference. And then there's a $50 difference between this and the GP9s. I don't know. Definitely one of those things where I'm curious as to where these pricing differences come from. Anyway, great looking diesels. I will also make the point to call out here. They are making a real effort to add the cab specific, or not cab specific, but road name specific details to each of these. So kudos to that, right? Like if you are into it, you can begin to pick out the very small details if you really pay attention to that between the different road names. So I think that's great. And I think that, that's a great added part. E6 units. These look amazing. I think these are probably the standout diesel for me in this catalog. Um, and for me, it's definitely the Milwaukee set. Um, that set looks fantastic. I don't have E6s. In terms of diesels, my big thing is mostly the E and F units. I think they were striking and awesome looking engines. I will probably pick these up and maybe the Super Base. They're up there tied for like 1 and 2 with the Hiawatha set because I'm a big Milwaukee person. Um, Now this is where I get again, I'm gonna mention it one more time here with the pricing. These are 1,200 for a pair. And I believe they are both powered, both units powered. Yeah, they're both powered, come with smoke and all that, right? And it's 600 for each. And each one is a six wheel trucks, right? So compared with the rest of the diesel units, I don't know where we're going with pricing with diesels. It's very interesting. It definitely seems to be a bit uh, all over the place and doesn't have like the rhyme or reason that one might think. The other thing that I'm going to call it here, and I think is awesome, this optional fixed front pilot. That's huge. Like, I think that's amazing, especially when you consider the fact that like on the front of like one of these when they're going with the front A unit, if you've got nothing coupled to it, like you might as well have the pilot fixed. There's no reason to have it attached to the truck. You're not pushing anything, right? So I think that's awesome. Definitely looking forward to these. These see-through units will be really cool. And yeah, so definitely looking forward to them. They look great. The Rock Island passenger cars and Rock Island set in the city of San Francisco. Um, all of this looks good. I think these are definitely some of these are standout diesels for me, like I said earlier. The other thing that's cool, right, is they definitely have um, you know, road specific details in the sense that like this is an AB set instead of an AA set. And so yeah, cool pieces like that I think are what help you know, do justify like, okay, things are a bit more expensive because you add more customization and all that to it on board. This looks great too. I'm sure people will be picking up this set. It's absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, this cold is getting me. So SW8, again, great, cute little switchers, great for small layouts, great if you enjoy doing switching or you just want to have like that scene. Um, they are 550, and you've got a number of road names. I do know like they also have like pretty good specific details. I was doing an Instagram live a couple weeks ago just after this catalog draft, and one of the guys in there was is in the Air Force and is familiar with the Air Force, with Switcher Titan here. And he pointed out that they almost got it, 95% right in terms of details, which is pretty awesome, right? That they're like actually making that effort. you get all those details. So very good there. Glad to see. Always good to see small switcher diesels. The U28C, these are awesome. I haven't seen these before in a Lionel catalog recently or mentioned. So I think this is definitely like a nice thing that the see after not being run for a long time. That said, these are another six-wheel truck diesel that are 650. They're pretty big. You know what? I'd have to go back and look. I'd be curious to see if like the length on these, like what's the difference in length between these and GP9s and other diesels. Um, just see if there's a way to back into how are they pricing these. That's definitely something maybe I'll make a video separately on that. How does Lionel potentially price out these diesels? Anyway, more diesels, bunch of different road names. For me, I'm a bigger steam person, so cool. But next, um, nickel plate, Berkshire freight set. This is a cute, nice set. You've got the fixed pilots, which is nice. You've got what if it you got to do is you got a hot box reefer, which they'll show later. It actually looks like the car is on fire with like LEDs and all that, which is cool. I again, this is going to be another feature that unless you have a legacy remote, you are stuck sitting and waiting because it's not Bluetooth, so you're going to have to wait until cab 3 comes out. For me, all these Vision Line extra stuff, I need a cab 3, so I think they're worthless until cab 3 comes out, and then I'll give an opinion on it. But yeah, I think they're worthless because if you don't have a legacy remote, you're just stuck. Can't do anything with them. I think this time and glow in the energy set is pretty awesome as well. This will probably look really, really cool in at night. It's definitely going to be like a conversation starter. You probably won't see this set run again. So this will probably be a collectible set after this catalog is done. The Illinois Central City of Miami Legacy set. This is a gorgeous set. The matching passenger cars and everything look awesome. It really is. It's a nice set. This is also going to probably be a collectible set afterwards, because you're not going to see this again. They're not going to run E6s necessarily again in the next couple catalogs. And even if they do, I don't necessarily think we're going to get the same set again. And I think the passenger cars are the 21-inch passenger cars. I don't know. Does it say? Oh yeah, they're 21-inch passenger cars. So you get those awesome looking 21-inch passenger cars, and they are impressive in person, without a doubt. And then we get some more of the new tooling passenger cars, much like we saw with the Royal Blue set. So those are awesome there. And I think that sort of closes out what I'm going to focus on here for this version of, or for this video. There's a lot of engines, and I've already talked a ton in getting over this code. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to jump to the back of the catalog. There's a ton of rolling stock, tons of other stuff here in this catalog that's worth reviewing, that I definitely want to get to and put a video out there about. I just think it's better if I do it separately because there's just so much to cover and talk about. So we'll get back to that in a bit. Oh, here we go. So the piece that I want to call here, I think these Halloween passenger cars and the Erie Vision caboose, as much as like not necessarily the biggest fan of the, like I said, of these Vision line cars, but I do think that these are going to be worth getting. The glow in the dark paint, if it works like it shows here, will be absolutely stunning. I mean, it will stand out. I know the previous like scale Lionel Halloween passenger cars that came out a number of years ago are basically impossible to find. You're not going to see them. So if you really want those, you're paying a premium if you can even find them. I can't even find them. I've seen them come up a couple times, they've been gone in seconds, before I even had time to like react. Like I heard the news, I went already gone. So if you are thinking about or want Halloween passenger cars, I know they're even more expensive than the royal blue. I guess it's because of the glow in the dark. I know 520 at MSRP. I mean, I'm sure you can get a discount if you pre-order for like 10% off or whatever. So yeah, it'll be like 480 or whatever. It's still a lot, but if you are a big Halloween fan like myself, and would like to have like a Halloween passenger train, get these cars. I think these are the cars you're gonna need or want, and I think this caboose as well, um, will be really cool to, especially because it just glows in the dark and how it all looks. It has an electro coupler on the caboose. That's wow. Okay. Plays freight sounds, user activated crew dialogue, has an air whistle. Um, so I guess that's the Vision Line stuff to it all. So yeah, some more stuff here. Right, and then I'm just gonna jump into, we've got the scale Polar Express Berkshire. I do think that they're going. I've heard people talking about whether or not they'll remove the number plates because no number plates are boards on the one in the movie. So hopefully they remove that, because it shouldn't have it. Although I do get like having the 1225 there. It's a very cute thing. The new passenger cars look great for the Polar Express. Again, I think they're at 270 for just a tooled passenger car. It's not even a 21-inch length, it's 19. Um, it is a lot. I think that's a bit over the top, but if you want Polar Express, that's what you're gonna have to pay, right? I mean, I'm sure you get a discount MSRP off MSRP, but this is the one other thing. I think we saw the was it E8s, the Polar Express or not Polar Express, the Christmas set that came out in the 2023 Volume 1 catalog. Those and that train looked fantastic. They're gorgeous. Definitely a good looking set. I think this is this is also that. This is a Christmas set that will be gorgeous for years to come. And for me, I would much rather actually get this set over like those E8s, because I am a Steam person. So this is up there along with the Hiawatha set. In fact, because of my concerns about the Hiawatha set and the coloring, I think Lionel's more likely to get the green, red, and white here right. And I would rather actually pre-order this because I feel safer ordering and getting this set than I do the actual Hiawatha set. What does that say, right? Especially after the Dreyfus and everything. So anyway, I'm gonna cut it off there. There's some more here. I guess I'll jump real quick into just this one other bit. We have the new 460 Legacy engine, but a Christmas set with a milk car, and another box or a couple milk cars, and one of the new passenger cars. And you've got some of the other Vision Line. You have the Vision Line caboose. Is it Vision Line or just caboose? Okay, and some other cars here. This is also a cute Christmas set. Um, I think this looks great as well. It still doesn't compete with the Hiawatha set for me, but definitely if you like this style and all of that, it's definitely gonna be a nice little set. So yeah. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to me with me and going through the legacy section and items of this catalog. I will hopefully in the next week or so get together a video focusing on the Lion Chief and other items in the catalog and take some time to go through all of that, because there is a ton of that in this catalog as well. And I just personally think that deserves its own video. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful day and be sure to leave your thoughts and comments below. Tell me what it is you like out of this catalog. Is there anything you think you're going to get? And I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. So thanks all. Have a wonderful day. Take care.